Mental illness is something that is very prevalent in today's world, and we really need to find ways and be proactive to find ways to manage stress and manage our emotions. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about emotional health. If you're new to my channel, welcome. On this channel, we stay lit, we learn, we invest, and we teach. We learn the tools and the resources we need to live our lives and live it well, and to live a healthy, balanced lifestyle. In today's society and world, we tend to go from 0 to 100 real quick without taking time to learn what we need to learn and, to do the things that we need to do to get there in a healthy, balanced way. So it's all about learning the tools and the resources you need to live that healthy, balanced lifestyle. We focus on the whole woman, mind, body, and spirit, because we know that beauty starts from within. So we learn the things that we need to do to be beautiful from the inside out. And once we learn those things, we invest in those tools, and then we teach others how to do the same. If that's your vibe, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And also check out my website at www.prescriptionnurse.com. I have more resources and information on there on living a healthy, balanced life. So without further ado, let's get into this talk. Let's chat a little bit. A lot of times we are emotionally unwell because we are our worst enemy and our biggest critic. So it's important to do some self-awareness checks and really see where you are with your emotional health. We are very hard on ourselves, and our biggest enemy is ourselves. And think of the last time when you made a mistake or you screwed something up. How did you deal with that? Did it linger? Did you think about the mistake? Did you play that mistake over and over again in your head and thought, man, I must be pretty stupid. Why did I do that? Why didn't I do it this way? Why did I say that? We are really hard on ourselves. And the thing about emotional health and talks about emotional health is we really inflate the perception of ourselves and the expectations of ourselves. We feel like we have to be perfect, we have to compete with others, we have to do our very best all the time. Like there's no room for error. Like either you get it or you don't. And that creates so much pressure and so much, it just sets you up for failure. It's an unrealistic expectation. So that's the problem with today's society and emotional health. We are so big on being right and perfect and knowing everything, and you gotta be the best, you gotta be the top, you gotta be the top. You can't be at the bottom, you gotta be the top. In order for you to be successful, you have to go hard or go home. You gotta be the strongest, the best, the fastest, the everything, the bestest. You have to do that. And that's a lot of pressure. So, and it's okay to be great. You should strive to be great. But let me tell you something. Newsflash, there's always gonna be someone who's smarter, more intelligent, faster, better, more beautiful. You're gonna tire yourself out trying to be this perfect person. In order to have solid emotional health, you have to practice self-forgiveness and self-compassion. There's a study that I read, and it said that people who practice kindness and show compassion to others, they live longer and they have a more fulfilled life. They get more satisfaction out of life. So in order to feel more satisfaction out of life, you have to forgive yourself first and be willing to forgive others. And you have to always be open to showing compassion and kindness. When you are like that, you silence that inner critic, that thing inside of you that wants to say, oh, why did you do that? You're so stupid. Oh my God, why did this? What would make you do that? And that silence, that voice that's playing, or it steals your mind from playing the mistake over and over and over again, which only makes you feel worse. We tend to self-sabotage our dreams because we focus so much on our failure, and we are our worst enemy and our biggest critic. We have to think of self-compassion. It's not feeling sorry for yourself or throwing yourself a pity party. It's not that. It's focusing on the positive, focusing on the things that you're doing well, focusing on learning from your failures. It's a focus that understands that it's okay to make mistakes, that we all make mistakes and we all face difficulties in life. And even the person that you look up to, the person that is the most perfect in your eyes. They make mistakes, they go through difficulties, they have days where they're down, they have days when they don't smell very nice and they don't look good, they have days where they don't spell correctly or they don't speak correctly. They have days like that too. They make mistakes. A lot of times when we make a mistake, we get all uptight, we become irritable, and because we're not happy with ourselves, we take it out on other people. So when you feel yourself getting into this realm and you feel like you need to practice some self-compassion and some self-forgiveness for not being perfect, well, here's what you can do. When you are feeling like that, give yourself a hug. That's right, a self-hug. So I want you to stop what you're doing. And I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose, blow out through your mouth and relax. And I want you to reach around real big and give yourself a hug. Squeeze and rock back and forth. And just relax your shoulders and just let everything go. And say it's going to be okay. When you give yourself a hug, it's self-touch. And you're allowing yourself to relax. You're allowing yourself to feel okay about not being perfect and making that mistake. And you're just letting all of that anxiety, those bad vibes and feelings go. Just take a deep breath. Bring your arms around. Give yourself a hug. Relax those shoulders. And just say, you know what? It's going to be okay. And no one's perfect. That's practicing self-compassion and kindness. It's hard out in them streets, for real. It's hard in this world. And if you feel like you are constantly in a state of competing to be perfect, you're gonna always have a mental burnout. So let's talk about another thing that's so important to building solid emotional health. Invite peace into your world. Choose peace over confusion. Choose peace over being right. Invite more peace and serenity into your circle. And how do you do that? It's really important to realize that being right is not always the focus. Sometimes it's better to choose peace than being right. For example, if you are having a disagreement with someone, and you may know that you're right about it, but is it really worth fighting with them over, or just saying, you know what, I'll let them find out on their own. Like I'll just let things play out and then let them find out how it's really done or what's right on their own. Because people are gonna believe what they want to believe. So you invite more peace and serenity by choosing peace and serenity. You don't always have to be right. Things are not gonna always work out the way you think they should. When stressful situations arise, you have to learn how to manage stress. You have to be self-aware. You have to know and realize what triggers you and how your body responds to those triggers and how you feel. That is why it's important to be self-aware and invite peace and serenity in. So when you are feeling stressed, that's the perfect time to invite peace and serenity into your environment, into your circle. And how do you do that? Well, one thing you can do is exercise. When you feel stressed out or emotionally stressed, the moment time permits, or the time that you have when you can exercise. Exercise releases tension, it increases endorphins, and it just makes you feel good overall. When you start to feel stressed out, smile. Physically smiling also releases endorphins, the feel-good chemical in our body, and it releases stress, and it will bring you from here in your reptilian brain, because when you get stressed out, you immediately go to your reptilian brain, which is the oldest part of the brain in neuroscience. But we'll talk more about that in another video. But it will help bring you from here to here, where you can think better and manage the stressful situation in a more productive way. So it's important to manage stress and know how we feel in stressful situations. And one way to do that is to pamper your body. And how do we pamper our body? we can exercise. Exercise is so important in managing stress. It releases tension and it releases endorphins, which is the feel-good chemical in your body. So when you are stressed out and you exercise, it's a way to kind of blow off steam and relax. Find a reason to feel happy on the inside. Because when you smile or you find a reason to be happy or you focus on happiness, it brings you from here to here. When you stop and you smile, you take a deep breath. Okay, let's talk about that. And another thing you can do is take a hot bath. Taking a hot bath helps you to relax. That's another way to pamper your body. So when you do things physically to your body that helps relieve and manage stress, it will help you to deal with your emotions better. So smiling, exercising, going for a walk, which is exercise, taking a hot bath, being intimate with your significant other, all those things are great to help decrease stress and manage stress. Now, when you're in the moment and you're experiencing a stressful situation, the one thing you can do is stop and take a deep breath. Let's do that right now. Let's do that again. Stop what you're doing and take a deep breath. And we're going to do that a lot during this video because it's so important to learn how to breathe and how your breathing can help manage your stress and contribute to your overall health. Another thing that you can do when you are pampering your body, your mind is a part of your body. It's mind, body, and spirit. You want to nurture your spirit. And how do you nurture your spirit? You meditate and you pray and you practice mindfulness, being in the moment, being present. It's so important to find that spiritual connection and build that spiritual connection and strengthen that spiritual connection, because being spiritual is tied directly to your emotional health. If you are strong spiritually, you're going to be strong emotionally. In everything, give thanks. Be rooted and grounded in your spirit and let God be the center of your spiritual growth. So here we go again with research. But if you do your research, you can learn a lot. Research shows that people who meditate experience less anxiety, less symptoms of depression, and they are more happier and more prone to success, and they live longer. So it's a good idea to practice meditating and praying and connecting to your spiritual side and nurture that spiritual side. And when you feel stress, like when you're having a stressful moment and you're right there in the moment, take time to get out of the situation. Like if you have to walk away, just and slow things down. Just remember, okay, I'm upset, things are going really, really fast, I'm not processing the way I need to. Stop and slow down. Just say, hey, can we, I need to take a break, time out. This is a little stressful for me, it's uncomfortable. I'm gonna need some time, but I definitely want to address this with you, but I need some time to process. And leave it at that, and then come back when you feel better. Because if you don't manage your stress, you may make some decisions that you wouldn't have made, and it may not be the best decision in that moment. So it's a real good idea to practice just slowing things down and taking a break from the situation. So far we've learned that managing emotional stress takes the practice of self-compassion and kindness. It takes inviting serenity and peace into your environment. And then third, we need to stop emotional eating. Now, how many people eat when they're stressed out or when they're just emotional? Guilty. And it is so detrimental to this diet, like to my waistline, And a lot of times I am stressed out and I just eat. I want to eat everything that is just not good. And I want to drink. I want wine. I want Ciroc. I want wine and Ciroc at the same time. And I want McDonald's, which is the grossest food on earth. But hey, we eat it. It's really not, it don't even really taste that good, but for some reason I want it. I ain't gonna lie. And then, you just stressed out, you're just eating bad. So everybody has their vice, what they, go to when they're emotional. But me, it's just food. Like whatever there is available, I'm gonna eat it. But we have to get a handle on that because it's not healthy, number one. And you're not doing it because you actually need it. You're doing it out of an emotional response. So let's talk about how we can get a handle on that. One thing that you can do is, I'm gonna go back to it again, is exercise. Exercise, I kid you not, will save you from a lot of things. And it will save your bottom line because you'll save money when you don't emotional eat because you won't buy food that you're not gonna eat, or you're just eating and then you eat some of it and then you throw the rest of it away. The more you work out, the less hungry you are. Your body becomes more efficient in burning food, burning calories, which is fuel for your body, and you just feel better overall. So when you feel emotional and you feel like you just want to eat something, I'm not saying you got to run to the gym. What I'm saying is, in that moment, stop. Take a deep breath. Told you we was gonna talk about a lot of breathing. But you want to stop when you notice, okay, I'm getting ready to just go on this eating binge. Stop, take a deep breath, and think about, am I really hungry, or am I just doing this out of tension, frustration, uncertainty? So when you feel that way, go for a walk instead. If you have access to a treadmill, go for a walk on your treadmill. We emotionally eat out of triggers. So you have to find what triggers you. And when you identify what triggers you, you have to find something to replace the eating with that. So let's say, for instance, you get into an argument and that causes a stressful response. And then you're like, man, I'm just stressed. I'm just gonna go eat. Instead of doing that, go exercise. Instead of going to go eat something, get organized. Maybe you have to organize your closet. You can organize your closet. Go clean something. Find some type of distraction to replace the eating with, because I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, you're not hungry. You're just eating out of emotional tension. And a lot of times it's a physical, emotional tension that we're dealing with. That's why we have to do a physical act like eating. Write in your journal, play a game on your phone, or get involved. Make a social connection. Talk to someone on the phone. Reach out to someone you haven't talked to in a long time, or someone that you want to touch base with and talk to. You just want to find something to take your mind off of whatever is frustrating you. We've all had times where we struggled with our weight and struggled with just eating out of emotions. It's a great idea to get therapy. Like, if you really have a problem with managing your weight, diet, it's a good idea to seek out a coach or get therapy, because it's a lot of things that we think we know about ourselves, but until we dig deeper, we don't really know. Speaking of getting a coach or a therapist, sometimes when we start a new job or we have a change in our life that is for the better, or it's just a new experience, sometimes when you seek out a new experience, it's a great way to build emotional health. When you seek out new experiences, you seek out new social connections, you build new relationships, and you build new memories that help reset your emotional brain. New experiences, they give us hope. They give us something to look forward to. The new experiences is all about renewal, about resurrection, about growth, about building something. It's so important to try new things and make those new connections, because it helps us to grow and it helps us to look forward to the future. Trying new experiences does boost our emotional health, and it builds emotional intelligence. And lastly, you're gonna love this one. You're gonna love this last tip, because I know I do. You have to shop more. So, research also shows that people who shop more live longer. Now, it may not be good for your pocketbook, but it certainly is good for your health. When you are feeling stressed, or you're feeling down, you're feeling depressed, it's okay to go shopping. Now, I'm not advocating for people to go out and blow money. What I'm saying to you is, don't feel guilty and beat yourself up about going and buying something that you need and it makes you feel good. For example, you may want to to go and get a pedicure and a manicure. That makes you feel good. And it's good for your health. It's good for your well-being. You're taking care of yourself. It's a form of self-care. You may go and you may buy new sheets for your bed. A lot of people don't spend money on those areas of their lives, like buying new sheets, buying new underwear. How many of us, ladies and gentlemen, don't buy or update our underwear wardrobe that often? Not as often as we should. Even if you want to go splurge, but you do it responsibly. You always want to be financially responsible, but it's okay to shop. Research shows that it's good for your health, it's good for your emotional health. It releases endorphins, it makes you feel good. And you just have to do it in moderation with everything. And that's another thing with, being emotionally stable. Everything in moderation. In today's society, everybody want to be the best right out the gate. And it just doesn't happen like that. You have to work hard for what you want. And you're going to go through some things and you're going to have some bumps and bruises along the way. So you got to be ready for that. It's not going to just fall out of the sky and be there and everything all be peachy and great. I remember when I was, in maybe about 3rd grade or 4th grade, we used to have these math challenges and the teacher would have flashcards and we'd go to each person and you had whoever would say the answer first, you just get to go to the next person. I was really, really good at that. And I almost made it to the end and beat everybody in the class, but then this one person got me. And I just froze. Like, I froze because, I'm perfect. Like, I got to get this right. And I started crying in front of the class just because I didn't get it right. I didn't get my way. It was traumatic. And, I think about that now and it's like, why was I even crying? But I realized, I wanted to be perfect in that moment. And because I wasn't perfect, it just crushed me. And I think, as I was getting older and doing things, I didn't really want to compete or I didn't really want to put myself out there because I didn't want to feel like I did when I lost the flashcard game. As a kid, probably I was, maybe 7 or 8, 9, 10, something like that. I don't remember the exact age, but I just remember the experience. It's okay to fail. And I'm okay with it now because, once you get over 40, you be like, whatever. Anyway, when can I take my nap? That's what you be worried about. But let's recap because, on this channel, we stay lit. So what did we learn? Emotional health is directly tied to mental health, and it's so important for us to focus on it and to give time to it. And if we are building emotional health, we want to practice self-compassion and kindness. Invite peace and serenity into your environment. And you do that by pampering yourself. You also want to stop eating out of emotional stress. You want to seek out new experiences. And lastly, you want to shop more. It's okay to go buy you something. It's okay to take care of yourself. Just do it responsibly. Well guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's time for us to get out of here. I appreciate you spending time with me and watching this video all the way to the end. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and my website, www.prescriptionnurse.com. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Stay tuned to Prescription Nurse. Now that's your daily dose.